Hi everyone, it's Viktor speaking. I would like to make a quick announcement. I am going to do a class on the midheaven and four angles. It is all going to be about what your ideal job is, how to determine what your midheaven talks about, what's God's plan for you. And the ascendant is going to be talking about basically your free will. And seventh house cusp is going to be talking about your law of attraction. So we're going to be talking about all these on the 15th of May. I believe it's going to be 6 o'clock in the evening, Budapest, Hungary time. But anyway, I put the link below, so have a look. And I hope you enjoy the upcoming video now. Have a blessed day. Bye-bye.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's Viktor speaking, and I'm here today with Tsveti, and then we're going to have a look at Saturn. But we are going to be having a look at Saturn in a different way. And the reason being is because Saturn is the most feared planet, and that's true. It has got some negative connotation to it, but also, like every single planet, Saturn has got great power as well. And once we manage to tap into those great powers, actually we can accomplish quite a lot with him. So Saturn is, for instance, the planet of rewards. So today we're going to be discussing what you could do in order for yourself to manifest some great things with the power of Saturn. So this time around, we're going to call Saturn as the planet of talent. How are you doing, Tsveti?
Victor, I'm doing great. Thank you. I have been looking forward to this video actually, because it's a really very interesting perspective of Saturn, this old malefic, so to say, because everybody's feared of Saturn energies, and I think it has also a lot to give. And we need to pay tribute to this as well, because otherwise it wouldn't be fair.
You know, Saturn in ancient times was the god of agriculture. So if you think about the agriculture, then obviously at one point we're talking about harvests. Now, one of the things which I like working with, because Saturn has got this 29-year cycle, right? That's the first time when Saturn is going to make a return in the chart. But if you really think about the progressed moon, the progressed moon has got a 29-year cycle as well. And this is not a coincidence, because back in the days, in ancient times, people actually were looking at the sky, observing the moon, when to plant their seeds, when to harvest those, when to go and hunt so that they could have something to eat. So therefore, Saturn, as being the god of agriculture, symbolizing the harvest, could really reflect, in your chart, basically what you reap is what you sow. And I think that beautiful proverb, is pretty much about what we want to talk in regards to Saturn about. So what positive sides would you mention to Saturn in general?
Well, in general, to me, Saturn is like this grandparent that we have, who would take care of us, but would leave us make the mistakes we need to make in order to learn, and then again embrace us with love and reward us with the prize that we won through making the effort, through taking the time to do a certain action. So I really relate to Saturn as this grandparent loving energy, which evolves. And also Saturn reminds me, when we talk about this duality of positive and negative sides, it reminds me about so many children's stories where we have the like the Beauty and the Beast, where we have the beast who becomes the prince. And actually it's like just like everything else, this beast and this prince is just like our Saturn, where we like the beauty, we need to make the efforts, and we need to become vulnerable in a way, and we need to be in the reality to take advantage of the opportunities that we have, no matter how they look like at the very moment they appear. And then when we do the effort, then we get the reward.
Oh, I love your example of, for instance, Beauty and the Beast. Like, yeah, Saturn is like a monster, right? But
Oh, yeah.
actually, eventually, that monster turned into gold, and then a fabulous, a fantastic love story came out of the whole darkness and the whole fear for that person, or fear from that person. Yes, Saturn can reveal what you fear of, but also Saturn can show you in your chart how you can overcome that fear. And that's going to be the sign of the Saturn. You know, Saturn is all about concentration. So if you concentrate on that topic, actually, that if that topic, the house position or the sign position of the Saturn, if it becomes a focal point in your chart, then it only gives you rewards. You don't necessarily need to be afraid of it all the time. But of course, when we fear of something, we just try to sweep that under the carpets. And
Oh, yeah.
Saturn does not like that. Saturn is the planet of reality. So then the index finger comes up, and then, hello, I'm a balloon popper. I'm going to show you what the real life is. There is no point in sweeping the problems under the carpet. So that's what Saturn does. But Saturn, in my opinion, is actually a bigger benefic planet than Jupiter, because Jupiter just gives with no limits. And then if you don't take those presents, it's going to get taken away.
Yes, and also while getting ready for the video of Saturn, I noticed that actually if you look at the symbols of Jupiter and Saturn, they're like turned around. If you turn around Jupiter, it will become Saturn, and if you turn around Saturn, it will become Jupiter. And this reminded me of this symbol in Chinese, I think, which means crisis and opportunity at the same time. Just like Jupiter and Saturn are irreversible in a way, because the opportunities that Saturn gives us, they're actually stable, they're going to stay, and if we do the efforts, of course. But usually Saturn forces us to do the efforts. Saturn wouldn't leave us he's like, I don't know, he's like pushing us hardly and showing us reality. Saturn, I love Saturn because it's actually a planet which reflects our inner world into the outer world, so that we can become more conscious of what is happening within, so that we can see it outside, materialized, and we can change it. He actually gives us our free will. He supports our free will. He doesn't give it, but he supports it very strongly. And he wouldn't leave us mislead ourselves with any lies or anything which is not stable or true. So I really appreciate this side of Saturn. Of course, it's hard. When Saturn hits, it's hard. But if you know that Saturn requires you to change your habits, and actually this energy which Saturn gives you through frustration, it's a huge energy, and we actually choose. We have a choice where to use this energy, whether to complain all the time and just moan, or just pack up ourselves and do the things, do the work. So yeah.
You know, Saturn is associated with limitation and restriction. Again, it's just about realizing your own limitations, you know, and not necessarily trying to push the boundaries so much. You know, figuring out what your talent is. So we're going to try to help with those. And then we're going to go through Saturn in each sign. So if you want to be having a little bit more clarity about that, for instance, my Saturn is falling into the sign of Scorpio, but it's in the 9th house. So try to combine then the Scorpio and the Sagittarius energies together, and that might be talking about what your potential talent is. By the way, we did a video on your soul mission in regards to the sun. So I think when it comes to soul mission, when it comes to talent in your chart, obviously more things need to be combined. So I put the link below if you want to listen to it. It might give you a little bit more clarity over, you know, what you can be talented at. So how do you feel Saturn in Aries? What could they be good at?
Well, I think that Saturn in Aries, at one point, maybe not at the beginning of their life, because Saturn is a planet which matures later after the first Saturn return at least. So at one point when one gets 30 or more, Saturn will bring independence. Saturn will bring this creative activities and being able to push through big projects, having the energy to do it, being in a leadership position as well, doing things for the first time, being the first one to do things, new things. And also Saturn in Aries, I think, will make the native very honest at one point, just like an Aries would be. While at the first part of their lives, Saturn will create obstructions for all these energies, and he will show you that if you don't do them, he will show you. So you know that you are not honest, you are not giving your energy, enough energy in the projects that you do, or you are bossing around instead of being a leader. And there is a huge difference. And yeah, I think that that's the Saturn in Aries will actually learn you to cultivate courage to do things and to dare to do them first.
You know, Saturn in Aries is one of the weakest positions for Saturn, because Saturn is exalted in the sign of Libra. And one of the reasons is because Saturn is all about bonding and building a connection. And therefore, it resonates really, really well with the Libra energy. But the opposite sign from Libra, which is Aries, that's one of Saturn's weakest position. Because if you really think about Aries, it's all about working independently, working alone. And Aries is all about speed. Now, Saturn basically wants you to enjoy the process. Saturn's motto is slowly but surely. So, but we can still, you know, detriment and fall positions of planets. Don't talk about, you know, that your life is doomed to misery. It just indicates that you might need to be walking away from the area of life, or you might need to be doing some adjustments so that you can, you know, you can work with the energy. So for instance, Saturn being the planet of responsibility, Aries is like an entrepreneur in sign. So it could give great leadership skills, for instance, here. You might be able to create some security, for instance, by taking initiatives rather than relying on others. You know, Saturn in Aries probably needs to learn how to become patient. And maybe writing your own rules. Saturn talks about rules. Aries is, as I said, about individuality, doing things independently. So probably this person doesn't necessarily like being controlled, limited, or restricted. Therefore, somehow they need to create an element of freedom, or to set their own power free. So one of the advice I would give with Saturn in Aries is that they should become their own boss. They should choose a career path which gives them an element of freedom and they are not restricted. You know, Aries likes acting on things fast and Saturn is slowly. But actually Saturn here, when a deadline comes around, probably they are very good at it. So a proactive attitude definitely helps Saturn in Aries. How do you feel about Saturn in Taurus?
Well, Taurus is all about our possessions, our self-worth, and Saturn is about restriction in that area. And if we talk about the positive side, Saturn at one point will learn us that if we work hard enough, if we put the necessary efforts to achieve a better material stability, and we will then also have a better self-worth. We will value ourselves, we will have our values within, built up within, and yeah, it's also learning. We will learn to be to rely on our own resources and not to rely so much on others. So yeah,
You know, I think Saturn is very reliable in Taurus. Taurus is all about accumulating wealth and material possession. So actually Saturn, if you work hard, it can give you financial security. We're talking about an earth element, and Saturn has got this earth quality to it anyway. So anything to do with wealth, property, possessions, all these type of energies could belong to Saturn in Taurus. I think if you are able to stay focused and you are not rushing things, then you're gonna experience like steady wins in your life. Saturn in Taurus need to understand that things are not like a car race. They're gonna benefit from any type of simple ideas, because Taurus is all about, you know, comfortable, tested things. And Saturn is the planet of test anyway. So Saturn doesn't like innovating unless it is in the sign of Aquarius. So you know what, whatever people already have tested, I'm just going to carry that on, and maybe I put my own spin on it. Great. And how do you feel about Gemini and Saturn connection?
Gemini and Saturn connection feels like it's all about studying, learning, and developing our communication skills. And I think that Saturn can give a lot here, because Saturn in Gemini can actually make the Gemini person very moderate in the way they communicate. So their words can become very valuable, and they actually will learn, will only need to learn to share the thoughts they have, because it will be hard at first. And yeah, I think that the gift of Saturn here in Gemini will actually be to bring structure to one's communication, and yeah, the ability to give others this structure.
You know, we're talking about Gemini. Gemini is one of the most curious sign of all. And we know that Gemini likes flying from flower to flower. So one of their biggest problem is that they can't sit down for 5 minutes and do a thorough research. But Saturn is very good at making research, doing researches. So now what could happen here is, if you decide to study, if you decide to become a master of a topic, then Saturn can give you plenty of present here. Gemini is a mutable air. Mutable means gathering. Gemini means knowledge. So you need to do plenty of gathering, you know, gathering your ideas, gathering some knowledge. You need to become passionate about it. It could be something to do with studying and learning, and then eventually maybe teaching as well. So you can become a mental master of something. You know, these talents might be in connection with teaching, languages, writing, some type of business opportunities as well. Gemini is all about business. So the most important one is having powerful connections, not having a scattered mind. You know, have a couple of ideas, stick your guns to it, and then you become well respected. Saturn wants to become well respected anyway. Saturn is a hand-on person. You know, Gemini does rule the hands, and Saturn is a hand-on person, a hard-working planet. So actually, they might get along quite well if you put the effort in.
Yes, and just one thing that occurred to me when you said that Gemini rules the mind. Actually, with Saturn in Gemini, maybe at one point these natives will be able to understand the power of the mind and how the mind is able to create and to manifest in the material world in a more spiritual way. So this relationship between the way we think and what we think and how we create ideas within the mind and how these manifest in the material world, maybe they will have this talent at one point.
You know, if we say that Saturn rules Aquarius, and Aquarius is the sign of logic, Aquarius represents the geniuses. So actually Saturn in Gemini could be a great position. You just need that one spark. You just need that ignition, you know, spark, the idea, mastering that, and then you can really become successful with the Saturn there.
Yeah.
Saturn is the planet of wisdom, an expert at one topic.
Yes.
How about Saturn in Cancer?
Saturn in Cancer, I think it will bring at one point emotional stability. Saturn will show our emotions all the time so we can see them, and will possibly show how our emotions also affect others and how we relate to others through our emotions. So Saturn will actually make a structure out of them, help us get in touch, see what we like, and having our will to choose how we would like to feel the next time. And we will be able to relate certain actions with the way we feel. So as to get this deep connection with our emotional world. Yeah.
You know, definitely the family relationships are pretty much highlighted here. And in many cases, Saturn in Cancer talks about, you know, having a family break. Somehow the family fell apart because they had to deal with plenty of hardship in one way or another. But somehow Saturn in Cancer, because I always say that Saturn is like a compulsory literature. It's a book which you have to learn, and then you have to get the wisdom out of that book. So if you've got Saturn in Cancer, it means that you're going to have to create somehow a family for yourself. You know, if it's not your own family, then maybe having a community, a supportive community with some like-minded people and so forth, and then you can support those. Saturn likes supporting. Cancer is all about protecting. Now, also Saturn in Cancer can be very good at property management, investments, something to do with mortgages, for instance, or maybe just creating a family business. Maybe somehow the whole idea here is to carry forward the family legacy.
Yes, and just something else that occurred to me, that actually people with Saturn in Cancer, they are very, very emotionally independent, because not having a family which supported you, you had to learn how to deal with your emotions yourself. So at one point, you will be able to use this quality, no matter how hard it was for you to acquire it, but you will be able to be emotionally detached when you need to make certain business decisions, for example. And I think this is a very strong opportunity for people with Saturn and Cancer, because yeah, on the one hand, this is not the best thing to be emotionally detached, but on the other, it gives you independence and you can decide on your own.
Yeah. Cancer talks about the roots, where I'm coming from, and Saturn is the past. So these people could be very good historians, for instance. They could be very good at having, for instance, like, how is it called? Um, mm, Antique type of shop, for instance. That also could belong here.
Yeah.
Okay, how about Saturn in Leo?
Saturn in Leo, it's a fire sign, so Saturn, doesn't. It's difficult for fire signs, Saturn in fire signs, because he intimidates them somehow. Fire signs, they are all about ego. We want to play, we want to have fun, and Saturn wouldn't let us. But I'm not sure. I have a hard time connecting to Leo energy. I have to confess, and the positive, maybe these people can, they can learn to trust their own, following their own heart's will, so to say, because Saturn will show them will tell them every time they fail their heart, because it is about our heart's wish, heart's will, and what makes our heart sing, so to say. And Saturn will actually support the sign to achieve this goal.
No wonder why you've got trouble of connecting to Leo energies, because you have got your own Leo demons to deal with, right? Yeah. Leo is all about leadership.
Well, when we talk about Saturn in Leo, this will be all energies related to some creativity, creative activities, self-expression. Leos are very loyal and very affectionate and very disciplined. And Leos are related to children and to dating as well. So I think that people with Saturn in Leo, they will be very good performers, because they will be able to get in touch with this creative energy, and they will like to shine. So anything related to entertainment, they can be great movie directors, or they can be in politics, or even become motivational speakers, because they have this talent to 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 keep the spirit in difficult times. So I think that Leos can use these energies, and also they can work in the educational system, because they're very good with children, or create a dating app. Because the fifth house and Leo energy, the sun, it's related to dating, and performance. So
it's very important how you portray and display, what type of image you display. It shouldn't be so flashy, it shouldn't be so dramatic, somehow finding the midway. So, but definitely leadership, which comes to my mind the first. Leo also talks about your own business and taking risks. And Saturn doesn't mind taking risks. Saturn is okay with that. It just doesn't want to rush things through. So I believe Saturn in Leo people somehow need to become a top dog. They could be very good at, for instance, a type of business where there is a little bit of an entertainment going on. So maybe, for instance, a club owner could be very good. A restaurant owner could be very good, maybe with a little bit of a live music and so forth. So those fields could definitely fit Saturn in Leo. How about Saturn in Virgo?
Saturn in Virgo, this is actually the placement which will give you an eye for the detail. And Saturn in Virgo will never make you feel you're ready to do something, but once you gain the courage to do it and to go out and try out, you will see that actually the knowledge that you gained, you are so much ready to perform, to show. So Saturn in Virgo can be for taking a huge pile of books, reading them all, and chewing them and speaking them out in a few sentences. Just the essence. I think that Saturn in Virgo are very good at that. They can present huge concepts in very simple words so that everybody can understand them. So I think teachers here at schools and working with children, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury and Mercury is children. So I think that Saturn in Virgo is very good for this type of a job. And anything related to reading, to making research, to reading is very good for this position.
You know, the Mercury ruled Virgo is very analytical here, and it's all about the nitty-gritty part, what you mentioned. So Virgo is very good at managing data. So anything to do with accounting, for instance, could be mentioned here. Any type of job which needs accuracy. Now, another couple of things which come to my mind here is wellness industry. Because we're talking about Virgo, which is all about health, which is all about lifestyle. And then Saturn, who wants to maintain a professional image. Saturn could be talking about restricting your diet, for instance. So any type of dietitian energy could belong here as well. Saturn is all about a support. Virgo is a service sign. So actually Saturn in Virgo is actually not a bad position whatsoever. It could give very good organizational skills to the person. As you said, the attention to detail. It's all about maybe helping others to succeed in one type of field. So I even can imagine a vocational advisor, for instance, with Saturn in Virgo. Yeah. Anything to do with a secretary, maybe a high-paid secretary.
Yeah, I think there will be. I have Saturn in Virgo, and I have worked as a high-paid secretary for years, and I really did a good job. Because of these organizational skills that you mentioned. So yeah.
And do you have the tendency to become obsessed over details?
Yes, but I already know it because with age, and I don't get so much in this trap already. But when I was younger, yes, very much. And also I was very critical towards myself, especially very self-critical. But yeah, with age, this changes a bit, eases up a bit.
And interestingly enough, now you show some type of talent in health industry, because
Yes.
Virgo is all about health and lifestyle. So it does make sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, how is Saturn in Libra showing us some talents?
Saturn in Libra, it's all about relationships, and once you get in touch with this energy, you will actually be able to become an advisor, probably, and to help people solve their issues in their relationship. Because Saturn in Libra will have gone through certain experiences, and then once they arise from them, they will know how to help others. And as you said before, Saturn in Libra is exalted, so it's a very strong position. They can be very diplomatic, very tactful, and I think that all kinds of job related to these kind of positions where diplomacy is needed, even politics,
Yeah,
in a
sure,
very,
sure.
very good position for them. Mm.
You know, Libra is all about justice, fairness, and balance, beauty and harmony. So Saturn is a hierarchy figure. So Saturn could become a great judge, for instance, in the sign of Libra. But it could be quite a pioneering energy as well when it comes to equality. So again, fighting for equality in the world, fighting against injustice. Um, Libra is pretty much artistic as well. So the design field somehow could become important for Saturn in Libra. Saturn is all about commitment. You did mention that Libra talks about relationship. So I feel like Saturn in Libra is the best when they have got a partnership going on. I mean, maybe on a professional level, not just on a personal one.
Yeah, a committed partnership. Yeah, where they
Yes,
can. Yeah, they need to learn to be reliable, and once they do it, they really have good, strong partnerships.
exactly.
And yeah,
Okay,
okay.
Saturn in Scorpio.
So Saturn in Scorpio, I think that these people they go through a lot, and it's all transformational. No matter how this word is getting, it's used too much used, and transformation for Scorpio, it's like a bit, yeah, too much usage of the word. But still, after going through all these transformations, they are able to become healers. They're able to become they can just see through people's minds. They're so good. They have analyzed themselves so much in order to transform that they can see through people, right through them. And I think that they can even become magicians because they become masters of the emotional world of the others. So they can feel the environment and yeah, um, it's a little bit like occult studies, metaphysical things, because it's all related to Scorpio, but this is a very good way for them to help others. And I think this is the true idea behind Saturn in Scorpio, to help you put some structure on all these metaphysical matters which are so untouchable. You're not able to see them, so that you can present them to the others.
You know, as we mentioned at the beginning, Saturn represents the fear in your chart, but it also tells you how to overcome those fears. And with Scorpio, I always tell my clients or to my students, Scorpio needs to decide whether they're gonna be licking their own wounds, or actually they are going to be helping others to heal. And Saturn is definitely here to tell you that you are meant to be helping others. So any type of counseling and coaching type of energy belongs to belongs to Saturn in Scorpio, because Scorpio is an investigator, and Saturn helps you to go deep.
Yes.
Any type of careers in regards to finance or politics could belong here as well. Scorpio represents other people's money. Saturn again becoming the top notch in any type of field. And one of the things which might happen with Saturn in Scorpio is that they wish to work behind the scenes. And that's okay, that's no problem. You know, a coach, a counselor doesn't necessarily go on YouTube, doesn't necessarily go on a stage and start talking in front of people, but there is still that helping hand. And somehow you shouldn't become invisible completely.
Yes, and also I forgot to mention that Scorpio is also very much related to our sexual energy. And in that sense, I think that people with Saturn in Scorpio, they have a very deep understanding of what sexual energy is, and actually, because it's a very taboo topic, and I think that those people, they become masters of this energy at one point. They don't really agree to do sex just for the sake of sex. They just want this deep connection that happens, and which can cause them some problems at the beginning when they were younger. But then later, and it because due to this motivation, they just want this higher energy. They just want to touch the higher truth related to the sexual energies. And yeah, they also realize this responsibility that lies behind this sexual energy, because when two people unite, you actually take responsibility for the other, and if you're not at the right level, this might hurt the other, and they are very good at realizing this, that they know it somewhere deep, even in the unconscious. And I think at one point it just comes up in the conscious mind, and they're quite aware. Yeah, so they can become tantra teachers even. Yeah.
Yeah, surely. It's all about overcoming those fears.
Mm-hmm.
How about Saturn in Sagittarius?
So Sagittarius is all about our beliefs and aspirations towards our goals. So Saturn in Sagittarius can learn us and can give us the opportunity to learn to be patient and constant, and can give us the focus, the discipline to follow our long-term goals. And can actually show us exactly how we can materialize these in here on planet Earth, in the material world. Yeah, and it's like Saturn in Sagittarius will give the native the opportunity to put structure on philosophical theories, and yeah, at one point present them to the others, like teachers, gurus, and so on.
Teaching is definitely something which belongs here. And I also believe that maybe some type of religious and philosophical type of fields, as well as legislation, also justice. So Saturn again can become quite a great lawyer, solicitor, but Sagittarius is all about like a spiritual type of guru, what we can imagine with Saturn. Also, Sagittarius rules foreign countries, so maybe some type of international association with others, which can bring you an element of a luck. Now, Sagittarius talks about publishing. So Saturn could be quite a great writer here. Something to do with, yeah, publishing books and so forth. But also Sagittarius has got meanings like the truth, the meaning to life, the opinions, and Saturn can come around and then solidify those things.
Yes.
Remembering that your belief system shouldn't be limited, shouldn't be restricted. You don't need to sacrifice, you don't need to keep quiet. You can actually mention, whatever is on the tip of your tongue. Probably the outspokenness in Saturn, in Sagittarius, somehow become a personal freedom for the person.
Yes,
Yeah.
realizing that there is not only one truth and one belief. It's like it's a universal truth, yes, but you can it can be expressed in so many ways, and yeah, you just need to dare to express what your truth is. You need to say it out loud.
And you just need to put your faith in it.
Yes.
How about Saturn in Capricorn?
Oh, we love it, especially lately.
Especially lately, yes.
So Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn rules Capricorn, so it's in a very strong position. and Saturn in Capricorn feels great there. They're so focused, so disciplined, so career-like. It feels like people with Saturn in Capricorn can invest their efforts in any career they like. But it's very important for this career to give them social status. And yeah, I think this is the gift of Saturn in Capricorn. At one point, you become a very well respected member of your society, and you actually earn this social status through your hard work, through your efforts, and yeah, and your focus.
I think Saturn in Capricorn is all about creating your own empire, basically. You know, it's all about building up something which you nurtured, which you put so much sweat into, and then eventually seeing that business flourishing. You know, we're talking about a profession where there is some type of industrious energy. Obviously, Capricorn talks about work ethic and talks about challenges as well. And definitely Saturn in Capricorn should not shy away from any of these challenges which might be popping in. Once you stick your guns to that project and then you work hard towards it, I think you can build that empire for yourself, as we said, but probably it might take a little bit of a time. It's like climbing up the hierarchy ladder. You can have a very great sense of economical approach, anything to do with politics, anything to do with governmental issues and so forth, industry, great organization skills, surely, or anything to do with protecting certain type of legacies, protecting families, anything really which you can be passionate about.
Yeah, and also helping people become independent, all those kinds of positions.
Yeah.
Want others to become independent, to trust themselves, to trust their own energy and possibilities. Mm-hmm.
Great. Let's have a look at Saturn in Aquarius.
Mm-hmm. So this is the other sign which is ruled by Saturn, Aquarius. Saturn in Aquarius will be able to organize big groups of people and to materialize big concepts, to make them understandable to the public and to present them to the public in a way that it's accepted. And Saturn in Aquarius will present a circle of friends belonging to a group. But yeah, you have to make the efforts so that this happens. What else?
Maybe, you know, maybe the talent is related to technology, knowledge, something to do with maybe internet as well. In my opinion, there might need to be a scientific approach or maybe a little bit of a rational approach as well to that industry what you want to choose. It's all about innovation. It's all about a development of a new idea. So imagine you've got a new idea and then step by step, having a step-by-step guide, how I'm going to be implementing those steps, and then how am I going to actually finish that project. Now, also very important here is that Aquarius is all about breaking away from any type of traditions, and Saturn is a very traditional planet. So it's more like reinventing the wheel somehow, and then you can put your own individuality into it.
Yeah.
And last but not least, Saturn in Pisces.
Well, to me, Saturn in Pisces sounds like finding the balance between the material and the spiritual world. And at one point, I think it's they have this potential of reaching this nirvana state of
Yeah.
inner peace and deep wisdom, which they like the symbol of the Pisces. It's two fish. One goes deep to see what's going on, and the other comes up to tell the others. And I think that's a very nice description of how Saturn in Pisces will work. It will get you deep down first, so you can see and meet all your demons, so to say, and then you can go up, so you can tell the others how it's like. And yeah, it's a very, very close, and also Pisces is a very artistic sign. So Saturn in Pisces can be very well presented in this show business world. They can be performers, great performers, I think. And yeah, yeah.
I think it also gives great people skills. It doesn't mean that Saturn needs to become a management type of energy here, because they might find it awkward or tricky to a certain extent. But definitely, what the key to success is to set those clear boundaries.
Yeah.
And Saturn is very much of a help to Pisces in that department. Yeah, probably I would say maybe some type of charitable causes they could be very good at as well. You know, helping the underprivileged, helping the less fortunate type of people. Because Saturn is the planet of, it rules over poor people. So Pisces is all about compassionate love. So it's all about helping out the underprivileged to stand up and then maybe restart their own engine.
Yeah. It's really also, I think that Saturn in Pisces can also go into healing as well, just
Oh
like
yeah.
Saturn in Scorpio, because Pisces is a very healing sign. Wherever they go, they actually absorb whatever is to be healed, so they can use this energy once they reach their maturity. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was a shorter video today. We just wanted to shed a little bit of a light in these hard periods, that not everything is black and white. Each planet has got their great and probably less great side to them as well. But if you turn them around, use them for your own benefits, then all gonna play out just fine in your own chart. Now we are living all these hard times with Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter energies. We have left the energy a little bit behind, but Saturn will come back to the sign of Capricorn. So we might take on that pessimistic approach again, because Capricorn is more like a feminine energy. But stay positive with it. Try to use the energy to the fullest, basically. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and then also just share some love with us. So please press like. And thank you very much, Tsveti, to join me today.
Thank you, Victor.
I think we've given some great insights.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you, everyone, and have a lovely day. Bye-bye.
Bye.